Welcome back to Joyous Prairies. We are outside. It is still a little bit cool out here, but we are outside, and I'm so happy about that. My grass is starting to turn green, and spring is here to stay, I believe. We'll see about that. Here in Wisconsin, sometimes we get some, like late spring snow, so hopefully we're all done with that. But yeah, we're back, and I'm excited to be back. It was nice to take a few days off. I was just kind of having a little bit too much going on that I couldn't, I guess, put into words. So I needed some quiet time and time with my God and time with myself. And yeah, so we're back today and we are back on the questions. Today's question is, what would your younger self look up to you for today? And put a lot of thought into this over myself. Um, the question originally is, what would your younger self be proud of you for? And I have some issues with the word pride. I don't, you know, pride goeth before a fall, be not prideful, all of those things. Um, I do think there is something to having satisfaction in a job well done. I think there is time that you can take to be happy with yourself for hard work or for something that you've accomplished. But the word pride it's a tricky one for me. So I don't want to say prideful, but my younger self, 20-year-old Joy, what would she look up to 40-year-old Joy and say, I really like that about her? And the thing that really was kind of coming into my mind over and over is my strength. And I've had people, give me the compliment, you're so strong. And I had one person years back compare me to a prize fighter, like a heavyweight fighter. Like you just keep getting up when you're knocked down and you just keep coming back to fight. And there was a quote that I had read a few years ago that I really, really loved, and it was, I love the woman that I am because I fought to become her. And my strength, I have physical strength even though I'm a small person, but the strength that I'm referring to is, like my not physical strength, but the strength that's in me to keep fighting. And my response always to that is I didn't know I had a choice to be anything but strong. I didn't know that I could be weak and vulnerable, that I had to be strong to keep going, you know, um, in dealing with, depression for a long part of my life. I had to be strong to keep going, to not give in to it, to not allow it to take over me. And, the end result of depression is to give up, um, give in to the thoughts that tell you to destroy yourself and to do things that would harm yourself. So there's a strength in there that keeps me getting out of bed, that keeps me fighting, that keeps me doing what I'm doing. And just like when I talked about having compassion and love for people, the strength that is in me seems beyond me, because sometimes I feel like my true self is not strong. There's this strength within me that isn't completely to do with me. When I was a younger person, talking about, 20-year-old Joy, when I was a younger person, I was not strong. I was blown by the wind, so to speak. I was influenced by other people's opinions. I would allow people to run over me. I would allow people to use and abuse me, influence my way of thinking, my decisions. I had difficult time making decisions on my own. I had to have permission, or I had to have some authority figure, be it my parents, my husband, my pastor, anyone that was older than me, tell me what to do, because um, I didn't feel like an individual, and I always felt still like a child, like I didn't have permission to do what I thought was right. And in the last few years of self-isolation that I've been doing, we are really in self-isolation now because we're all, safer at home. But, in my own self-isolation, I have learned that I can make decisions on my own and I can be an individual. So I think if the younger Joy were looking at the old lady Joy, she would say, I really like how strong she is. I really like to see what a fighter she is, that she can take these circumstances in life and the deck of cards that she's been dealt and make something beautiful out of it. And that I can make decisions. I still consult people, of course, but I can make decisions now for myself, for my family, without feeling like I have to have permission from somebody in authority. Because at this point in my life, the only person's opinion that I really highly value is God's. And I know that He's put that strength in me, that He's made me a fighter. It is not of my own doing, because in my own doing, I am a weak doormat. So it is not of me. It is not something I can be proud of, but it's something that I can be thankful for and appreciate, because my Creator has made me strong. And I'm very grateful for that. And yeah, so I think I think that's what I think about that. And your question for today is, what would the younger you look up to the older you and say, I really like that about me? So that's your question today. And I look forward to your answers. I appreciate you all. Live and love out of the way you were created.